What we want to look at now is we're going to look at a principle in communication, and some of you who have been through the ancient paths will be familiar with this principle, but I don't think it will hurt you to hear it again because it is such a powerful thing that we need to understand and we need to recognize. So let's go to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. We'll look at a very familiar scripture. It says, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of His might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, against the rulers of this darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places. Therefore take up the whole armor of God." And he goes on to speak about putting on the armor of God. But what I want to talk about tonight is, how does the enemy implement schemes or strategies that are destructive to a marriage relationship? Because if it really is true that your marriage is the primary prophetic picture of how Jesus Christ treats His church, your marriage inherently in itself contains the image of God, then you know that the purpose of the enemy is to destroy anything that looks like God. I mean, Satan hates God. Satan hates anything that looks like God. Satan hates anything that contains the image of God. And when you look at what the enemy does, he seeks to bring division. Division. And when you look at that word, die means what? Two. What is division? Is to bring two visions. You know, in Greek, devil is diabole. Diabole. And we know in Spanish, if you know Spanish, what's the word to speak? Hablar. Hable. Diable is what? Speak two things. You know, maybe that's Latin. Can't remember if that's Latin or Greek. Anyway, to speak two things is the meaning of that word devil. So the one whose purpose is to cause people to speak two things comes to bring division, which is to bring two visions instead of one vision. So what happens if you have two people that have two different visions and are speaking two different things? Are they going to be able to walk together easily? Obviously not. God's purpose is to bring one vision, one flesh, one purpose, speaking one thing. And so the purpose of the enemy is to divide us, to destroy communication. And the first thing that I want to look at in this section is to recognize that the enemy hates your marriage, and there is an on-purpose strategy designed by the kingdom of darkness to destroy your marriage, to destroy generations. It's a purposeful intent. It's not just happenstance. It's not just by mistake, but there really is a strategy designed against your marriage. And the reason I say that is I find that many people don't recognize that. They don't realize that, because the moment that they step into an argument, how many know Ephesians 6:12 might as well not have been written for all the good it does you? And Ephesians 6:12 is the one that says, "For your struggle is not against flesh and blood." So look at the person that you're married to, that you're here with. What's that person made out of? Flesh and blood. Now the Bible categorically says your battle is not against them. But yet that's not what it feels like, does it? A lot of times it feels, no, that's exactly who the battle is against. That person is causing the problem. That person is doing things, saying things, not doing things that are very painful, that are very hurtful, that are causing a problem. That person is the problem. But yet Scripture says, no, there's something even underlying that. And here's an interesting thing. Suppose that there really is a strategy in the kingdom of darkness to destroy your marriage. How would the enemy do that? I want to talk about one specific strategy tonight that has to do with communication. I was just thinking about this because I was thinking about health challenges and health issues that a lot of people face. How many know that autoimmune diseases are rampant these days? Autoimmune diseases that is the craziest thing. You know, these things like lupus and fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome and rheumatoid arthritis, you know, things like that. And the thing that's crazy about that is where your own immune system miscommunicates with healthy body tissue cells in your body, and your own immune system destroys healthy tissue. For example, rheumatoid arthritis